think the question, if you ask me if I'm a road runner or a trail runner, I think it's the same question if you say, do you like gin or do you like tonic? And then you think, well, I think if you combine, it's way better. And then this is the same question when you ask, do you like road running or trail running? I think if you combine, it's way better. I played field hockey my entire life, which means that you have to run a lot also when you play field hockey. And then when I moved to Switzerland for my PhD, I stopped playing hockey and then I started to do running, cycling. But when COVID hit, I think I took running, more serious and more structured. And then I started to progress a lot. Of course, I did the PhD to afterwards find a job more in this direction. But then, since last year, I realized that I could probably make a living out of running, which is awesome. So I'm gonna go for the last one. Yes. Last year, I started running on the trail for Salomon, and this year I changed to Nike Trail and compete both on the road and the trails.
My name is Francesco Puppi. I'm from Italy and I run for Nike. Part of it was thanks to myself that Nienke came with Nike. So I suggested her name and they started talking to her. And then when she signed the contract, I was, of course, super happy because for sure she was the athlete to take with the team. And I'm glad that things worked out.
The fourth race in the series is Sierre-Zinal, the most prestigious trail race in the world. It's got the history, and unlike most trail races, it's got an up, it's got a fast top, and that means in theory, anyone can win here, whether you're a road runner or a trail runner. But just because you can win, doesn't mean you will.
Sierre-Zinal is probably the most famous and most competitive short distance race in the world. I think it's a great point of contact between skyrunning, trail running, road running, and maybe some athletes that also come from a track and field background. So everyone shows up there and we just go out super hard, and a lot of people die along the way, but it's so much fun to see who makes it to the finish.
Sierre-Zinal is truly a global race, bringing together the best trail runners from around the world. But the country that runners fear the most are the Kenyans. It's such a fast course, with only a small technical downhill at the end, but they can use their speed to dominate. This year, the battle between Skyrunning Kenya and Run2gether is the talk of the town. And although Run2gether didn't do that well at Zagama, they've podiumed in the men and the women's here previously, and they're bringing out their biggest weapon of all. Joyce Njeru has won all of her races this year away from Golden Trail, and she has to start as the favourite for the overall win at Sierre-Zinal.
Hi, I'm Joyce from Kenya, running for Run2gether team. I love animals. When we go to the south or the parks, running with them, maybe sometimes you find they're just watching you. And having the animals and training at the same time at the same place where they are, it's always a good feeling for us. Yeah, and sometimes maybe you get to train where they are, and you inside maybe in the forest you feel like something is getting to you and you have to run fast. So this one is also an advantage. You're doing the speed work at the same time. Yeah. So it's always a good feeling running there with them and getting used to them. Yeah. In military, it's a no-go zone. It's either you, as I said, you train hard or go home. This one you don't have to say, you don't have to give any excuse. That even if you're feeling that your body is not responding and you have to go to the coach or coach the body it's not responding. He says no. It's either you go home or you train. So he doesn't care.
Geoffrey and Joyce, now they have reached different levels of their running career. And Geoffrey, he's the one who is most experienced, and maybe he's at the end or he's approaching the end. And Joyce is not the beginning, but still in very early stages, and she has many years to come for sure. For ladies in Kenya, it's also always a bit more difficult to focus on professional running. This is something which makes it also more difficult for us to have more ladies in Run2gether.
Here in Kenya, the men already know that they don't have to take care of the kids. This is the ladies' work, the women work. And to the athletics life, it's somehow difficult.
For Joyce, yes, at the moment she has no family yet. She's in the army for 2 years or 3 years now. She joined the army. That's a big advantage in long term, because now she has an income which she gets every month. If she's running well, she has the permission to train outside the military camp. She can travel to Europe for competitions. But for this, she has to perform well.
Training with the coach, he's always there pushing. And sometimes it's helpful, but sometimes you limit yourself. But he sees much more energy in you.
As we can see from what she has done, it's a clear indication that she's not only performing, but we believe that she will come to be amongst the best. So I believe, and I hope that once that opportunity is there, with the determination and with the right program, we will beat Europeans. Yeah, because we believe in ourselves and we trust in ourselves. Yeah.
Yay! Bye-bye! A lot of the Run2gether team have been taking part in the Mountain Running World Cup, and their races are back-to-back. So while they're all on form, they could be coming to Sierre-Zinal tired, which could affect their race.
This year we try to combine mountain running and trail running, and we will see. Up to now it works very well for the mountain running competitions. So Patrick is leading in the man category, and Joyce Njeru in the ladies category. They have won 4 out from 4 races in the World Cup. And now Sierre-Zinal, yes, it's the combination of mountain and trail running, and we will see. We are looking forward. It's a big challenge, many strong runners from Kenya, from Europe, and it will be interesting to see who will be on the podium in the end.
It's always quite hard to define the differences between trail and mountain running because they cross over so much. Trail can be any distance and is anything on a trail, often in mountains, whereas mountain running is just in mountains. Quite often it goes off trail, and the big difference is that mountain running tends to be shorter, focusing more on the uphill than the downhill. So it's about pace and lungs, whereas trail can be up and down, so you need to be technically gifted and also have strong legs when you take a battering down that hill.
Yeah. So Skyrunners Kenya the team did quite good in Zagama.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think they can do better than you guys here also?
It's hard to predict. It's hard to predict, but I think they did very well in Zegama, and also the other race in Mont Blanc. One of them did very well. I think this race, Sierre-Zinal, it's a little bit closer to mountain running, so I hope it will fit our runners a bit better. The question for Sierre-Zinal now will be the length. that's something new for Joyce. So she knows the mountain races which are going up from the start. Maybe some shorter races are going up and down, but no race will last more than 1 hour, 1.5 hours. And this makes, of course, a difference in the tactic, in the planning of the race. It will be an important step for her to run this race because it's something new, and she has to get to know how it feels when you are at the start line of such a long distance race.
Después de los grandes resultados de Robert en Cegama, como también en Mont Blanc, preparamos a tope la carrera de Sierre-Zinal, también con las expectativas altas de quedar top 5 y con un nuevo fichaje en el equipo desde julio con Esther Chisan, una atleta que viene de la maratón con 2 horas 26 y bueno, también con opciones de estar luchando por los primeros puestos.
There's no need to go to Sierre-Zinal if you are not in shape, and that's why the competition will be very high tomorrow.
Is it scary for you guys?
No, it's not scary at all. I would rather get, 10th place, knowing that the field is as deep as possible rather than, second place or third place in a race that is not as competitive as it could be.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, only a few seconds from the start of the 49th edition of Sierre-Zinal. I hope you're excited. When you think about Sierre-Zinal, it's like the crazy race, the meeting between trail running, mountain running, and yet now we even see road running. Kenyans, Kylian Jornet shortly behind, and as expected, Rémi Bonnet as well.
La diferencia entre Cegama y Sierre-Zinal fundamentalmente son las bajadas. Cegama es una carrera auténtica de montaña, que te puedes encontrar con barro, que te encuentras con bajadas técnicas, con bajadas verticales. Y luego Sierre-Zinal sobre todo es subidas y con un terreno muy limpio, donde los atletas que vienen del asfalto, que vienen de la pista, sabes que con un poco de entrenamiento específico lo van a hacer muy bien.
I think she was position 2 in the steep climb. And yes, I thought everything is going well for her because that's the position I was expecting her to be in the steep climbing in the beginning.
Cuando estoy en el avituallamiento de Sandolin, Esther seguía liderando la carrera y Robert Kemoy se le veía muy fuerte y justamente en ese momento adelanta a Kylian y bueno, yo creo que fue algo muy, muy bonito, ¿no? El ver a los atletas del equipo rindiendo a ese nivel tan grande.
As a mountain runner, usually you have to be in the lead in such a race. If it's steep in the beginning, you can't wait until it becomes flat or until it becomes downhill, because then it's too late. So it was my hope that she will be in the leading group in the steep uphill, and it seemed to be like that. And then I was waiting for her at kilometer 12, and unfortunately I had to wait quite a long time. And she didn't disappear, and then I thought, yeah, something must have gone wrong.
It wasn't my day.
It wasn't your day?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah. my mind just tuned to drop out, and I just tried to motivate myself, but when the mind is just tired and negative towards something, then the whole body acts the same.
As I know Kenyans now for the last 14 years, for me it's much harder to handle with such a situation than for the runners themselves. So, and it was like that even today. So when I met her and then we went by car up to the finish, in the car, to be honest, I was really frustrated somehow because, we expected a lot, and I wanted her to perform well, or at least as long as possible on the course. Maybe in the end, you can suffer or you can have problems in going downhill. But I wanted her to be in the leading positions or in the leading group as long as possible, to experience the course and everything. But Joyce, she was. I was really surprised. She was talking about next year. She was talking about the next competitions, and this was only a few minutes after she dropped. And on one side, I think I'm really impressed by such character or by such behavior. On the other side, it's also necessary to find out the reason.
In my home place, I'm the only lady who is doing this in a big area. So sometimes when he meets me doing the morning run or running at the evening, they are always like, she's running every time. What have she done? What is she doing? Like they have the negative towards what you're doing. I like doing what people don't always like to do. So I'm a bit unique from others.
This year was the first time that we really tried to focus on trail running competitions. For Run2gether, it's a big chance in the future, I'm sure. And I hope Joyce will be the one being strong in trail running competitions as well as in mountain running. And Geoffrey, he will be the one who will teach young upcoming runners how to perform well in mountain running and also how it feels to go on technical terrain and what they have to do. If trail running is part of our focus in Run2gether in the future, from all the ages, from the young ones up to the old ones, I'm sure that we will have strong runners also in trail competitions in the coming years, and we will put all our effort to make this to happen.
Joyce dropping out of the race presented a great opportunity for Skyrunning Kenya to take first Kenyan in the females.
There she comes, the 2022.
Congratulations to Esther Chezong.
Claro, yo cruzo a Esther, digo, guau, todo perfecto, por fin, ya tengo suerte. O sea, encima lo conseguimos vendiendo pulseras, una historia súper bonita detrás. O sea, yo pasé como el mejor momento de mi trayectoria profesional a enterarme de esto y, o sea, volverme loco. El organizador de Sierre-Zinal le dicen que desde la Agencia Mundial Antidopaje, que cuando mandan el control antidoping de Esther, que sí que había sido negativo, pero les dicen que estaba en una sanción provisional por dopaje por corticoides, que era lo único que sabían. El control fue en febrero, Esther empieza conmigo en julio, entonces... Claro, yo no tengo nada que ver, pero claro, toda la movida de tener que explicar lo que os estoy contando ahora. Bueno, total, a todo esto, cuando salió de Marca en Gogo yo ya me quedo loco, porque yo de Marca en Gogo no sabía nada. Los periodistas, Radio Marca, llamándome para que entrara yo en el programa a dar mi opinión. Y no podía decir nada tampoco. O sea, yo me moría de ganas de entrar en antena y explicar todo lo que había pasado. Y yo estuve a punto de publicarlo antes de que... claro, yo digo, antes de que salga lo publico yo. Pero ya me dicen, no publiques nada y espérate un poco a que salga ya en el listado, no sea cosa que la líes. Todavía no sé cómo va a terminar, ¿sabes? Sigue sin aparecer, nadie aclara nada. Y yo estoy esperando ahora cuándo va a salir o si yo ya no sale. Pero claro, no tengo ya ni la motivación ni las ganas ni... O sea, yo creo que me lo voy a dejar ya. Este año yo lo he pasado muy mal. Lo he pasado muy mal y ya después de todo que... no sé.
Two days after Sierre-Zinal were the European Athletics Championships in Munich. So the eyes of the trail running world switched from watching trail to watching road to support Nienke take part in the marathon.
This was the first time I competed in the European Championships, representing my own country. So first time I put on my orange kit. Yeah, that was all super nice, but I think I was more nervous than I thought I would be.
Road marathons have been dominated by East Africans for years now. So the European Championships provide a really good opportunity for runners to finally get a podium in a major international event.
Of course, championship races are very different compared to the other marathons where usually you just run for the time. In a championship, you run for your country and for the best position, so it doesn't really matter the time.
In a race where you focused only on time, it's not about tactical racing, so you have quite a constant pace. You have pacemakers, everything is quite figured out to the details. In a tactical race, it's different because you cannot plan it. You don't know how fast the group is going out, what the tactics are of the other girls. So it's really a game that you need to know how to play it, and I never did this before, so it will be good to see how this goes.
Tras Sierre-Zinal, ya que estábamos en Suiza, nos vimos en live de Nienke, pero realmente estaba nerviosa por ella porque sabía que lo podía hacer podium, sabía incluso ganar, y además ves todo el entrenamiento que hay detrás y que la maratón es tan dura que cuando eres deportista es como que te pones en su piel como, guau, este es su objetivo de temporada. Pues como para mí era muy importante Zegama y ella lo sabía, yo sabía que para ella era súper importante esto. Entonces viendo el live era como, uff, qué nervios tengo por ella.
So it was a loop of 10 kilometers 4 times. And you first have to go 2 kilometers in and out. First loop was very good. It was very slow. So I was a bit worried that if this race is going to be this slow, that it's going to be an end sprint because you're with such a big group left. So I tried to see if people wanted to go faster, but it was not really. But it went good to plan. I could take my fuel, everything was fine until kilometer 27.
Para ir a un europeo, lo primero es que hacer una marca. Creo que en España te piden menos de 2 horas y media. Y una vez que te clasificas, Nienke con 2:22 claramente está clasificada y estaba favorita por tiempos. El europeo, pues al final es como una carrera de trail, que juegas la estrategia. Puedes lanzar el ataque cuando quieras. Y normalmente nunca se hacen mejores marcas porque se sale tranquilo y de repente alguien decide en el kilómetro 20 o en el 30 atacar. Y en este caso, la maratón de Nienke casi que fueron en grupo las favoritas hasta el kilómetro 38. Y ahí atacas y a ver quién sobrevive.
Yeah, I think 2 kilometers out I was placed second. Then all of a sudden I wasn't anymore, and then I was 4th. And I realized I just lost two places, and I was really sad about it. So I thought, no, I really want to at least get a medal.
I think she ran it with a really good personality, not just showing how strong she is physically, but also mentally. I think if you watch that sprint finish with the German girl that finished 4th, that shows her grit, just how deep she's able to push and how bad she wanted that 3rd place.
Really, it was a photo finish, so we really fought until the end. But it was in my favor. And yeah, of course, a medal in my first championship, I'm very happy and also proud. I think with road running, the groups are always a bit bigger and a bit more varying. So it's when I go to the Golden Trail series, it's like it's quite a small group, and you know now everybody. So it's sort of like coming home to your family.
Nienke, where are we?
In the US.
Pretty accurate.
Yeah.
Next up, the series went on an American road trip starting in Pikes Peak. Nienke may have won Zegama, but that's the only race she's done so far this season, so she needs to do well in both of these races.
My name is Sophia Lackley. I'm Allie McLaughlin.
Pour la course Pikes Peak, je pense que toutes les meilleures sont là.
I've got nothing to lose by having a massive crack.
Salir a muerte y llegar a muerte. Aquí no va a haber esta vez. Para mí no.
I proved many times that I am one of the best climbers in the circuit.
Remy Bonnet is one of the best climbers in the world, but it's actually been some time since he's really been performing well.
Obviously, I underestimated Remy Bonnet.
Fuck altitude.
Never again?
Never again.